we have one very interesting design that I worked on many years ago, and I forgot how I created it, and I will try to recreate it now. Hope it will be fun. So first we will create sketch, circle in center, the diameter 60 millimeters. We will select this circle and change line type to construction. Now we will create two more lines from circle to center of the circle. Let's say this angle here is 45 degrees. Goal here is to create an octagon. So when we divide 360 degrees with 8, we get 45 degrees. If we want to have hexagon, this angle would be 60 degrees. So you can choose angle you want, but at this point we will do it like this. Right click, cancel. So I will select these two lines and change here to construction lines. Also we will add one more line to here, and now we'll dimension this angle. This angle will be this angle divided by 2. I will also this line select as construction, and add one more line, this line between this point and this point. So this line is the most important at this moment. We created all this just for this line. So let's finish this sketch and now create one more sketch, but first we have to offset plane. So we need to create one more plane which will be parallel with this plane, but on some distance. We want 20 millimeters distance. That's up to us. That distance can be smaller or bigger. So on this new plane that we created as offset from this first plane, we will create another sketch. So we select that plane, go to sketch and create another sketch. This dimension of this sketch would be the same as dimension of this circle would be the same as dimension of the circle which is below. So we will say 60 as it was this circle below, but we want to make it parametric. So this first diameter is D1 parameter, but we will go to this first sketch here and to see this diameter, is it really D1? So we see D1, so we will finish sketch, open this new sketch, and here instead of 60 we will say D1. So when we change parameter D1, both of these circles will change in dimension. So let's make this line construction. Let's create something similar to what we have in this bottom circle. So we will create 2 lines. We will have the same angle here, 45 degrees, but I will go to the first sketch and to see how parameter. This parameter is the D2. So now we'll be back to this upper circle, and here instead of 45 degrees I will type D2. We have to have this line fully horizontal, and now we'll add this line to here. So now we have one rectangle here with this line and one rectangle up here with this middle line. So these rectangles are not one above the other, but they moved for 22.5 degrees. Now we'll select these lines on upper rectangle and make them construction, and we'll add one more line from this point to this point. As we had this line on the bottom plane, that is most important. Now we have this line here that is most important for us. I will finish sketch. Now I will create a plane through 3 points. Plane through 3 points. Select this, click on this, and select 3 points that we want our plane to go through. This point, and this point. So we get this new plane. On this new plane I will create sketch. So I don't see that plane, and I will unhide it, go to construction and unhide this. So we have this plane. Now in this plane I will project geometry, press P on keyboard, and we will get this, and we will select this point, and this point, and say OK, and we will create triangle through these 3 points, and we will finish sketch. Now we can hide this plane, and now we will go to sweep, select triangle that we just created, and path, as path we select this line that we created previously. So at this point this sweep goes all the way through that line, but we don't want it to be all the way. Just let's say here 0.1 would be okay, and here let's say 0. So now we have this one element. Now we will similarly as we created with this feature, we will create a plane through 3 points again, but plane through 3 points, but these 3 points will be now this point, and this point. Now we have a new plane. On this new plane, we will create sketch. We will unhide this plane and we will project geometry again. We can press P on keyboard, so we can project this point, and this point, and say OK. Now we will hide this plane and we will draw 3 lines to connect these 3 points that we just projected. And now we have another triangle. We will finish sketch, and similarly as we did with this element, now we go to sweep, select this profile, now select this path. Instead of cut, we will select join here, and instead of 1 we will type 0.1 here. No, this is 0, and here 0.1, and say OK. Now we have these 2 very important elements. So we will now create circular pattern, but in order to have circular pattern, we need to have some circle or some circular shape. We will unhide this first sketch, and now we can go to circular pattern. Instead of bodies, select features and select these 2 features here, this and this sweep. Now axis, we can select this. Now we have only 3 of these, but we said that we want to be octagon, so we will type here 8 and press OK. Now we have something that looks like our object. Now we will apply mirror, select all, first select, instead of bodies, we select features here. Now select this, what we created. Select mirror plane. We will want to have this as mirror plane and say OK. Now we have this. To make this a bit bigger, we can again use mirror, or we can use a rectangular pattern. Select features here. Now in timeline, select these features that are already created. Select axis. We want to select this Z axis, and instead of extend, we select spacing. This, let's say 2, quantities type 2, and distance. As you remember, we say that when we created this offset plane, we say the distance between this plane and this plane is 20 millimeters. So we will say here 40 millimeters, because we have twice that dimension here, and say OK. And now we have this object. Now we already got what we wanted, but just to see what else we can edit here, and that can be interesting to see how it looks. So we have here this first sweep, and if we move this to, let's say, 0.5 and say OK, and the same, if we do the same with this, to have here, instead of 0, 0.5. This is what we will get. Another interesting shape, interesting design, interesting object. But if we go in timeline again, so if we apply chamfer here on these 3 edges, chamfer 1, and then go to next sweep and apply chamfer on these 3 edges, and then go here and include chamfer in this circular pattern and apply these chamfers in mirror command and apply chamfer here in this rectangular pattern, we will get something like this. Very, very interesting design. So what else we can do here? We can modify and combine these all elements and say okay, and we will have now one object. If we edit these chamfers, this chamfer is D30. Well, if we say here 2 millimeters and say here instead of 1 we type D30, we will have also 2 millimeters, and we will see how it looks. If we say here 3 millimeters, this is how it looks, and we can play with it further. But if we say here this instead of 0.2 here, D7, if we say 0.3 this as D7, and we say here instead of 0.1 say D7, we will get something like this. Now we can create sketch on this plane and select this, create sketch on this, and create circle. Let's say circle to be 50 millimeters. Now finish sketch, extrude this circle to here. If we want to have circular inside part, we can get it like this. Also, if we want to have this bottom closed, we can again create sketch on this plane, P for projecting geometry, and select this circle and say OK. Finish sketch, go to extrude, and let's say -5 millimeters, and we will have closed bottom. Now if we want to fillet this edge here, we can say 5 millimeters fillet radius, and we will have something like this. So that would be final design. Very interesting design, very interesting to work on it. If you have questions, you can write in comments. If you have suggestions, also. Thank you.